Look at this story. That day Brenda gets angry because Manu, the employee's daughter, was sitting at the table with them. He starts screaming and saying that he doesn't want the girl there at the same table as her. Mariana was horrified by what she is seeing and hearing from her daughter and says, "Please Brenda, don't do this." Brenda pushes her plate of food away and says that she will only eat when the girl leaves the table. Bruno the employee comes over there and tells Manu, "Gio, eat on the couch." Mariana says, "I'm sorry about that, Bruno." Bruno says, "Don't worry, everything's fine." After Bruno takes his daughter away, Brenda picks up her plate and goes back to eating. Brenda goes to her mother and says, "Why did you let the employee's daughter stay here?" Mariana speaks. He asked permission to bring his daughter because his wife is hospitalized and has no one to leave her with. Brenda says, "But I don't like this employee or his daughter." Brenda turns her back and leaves. Mariana is very worried about her daughter's reaction. Brenda takes it and goes to her room, and when she gets there, she sees Manu there playing with her doll. Brenda, very angry, says, "Who told you to come into my room and go through my things?" Manu speaks, "I'm sorry Brenda, I was just looking at your doll." Brenda says, "I don't want you to go into my room, get out of here now." Bruno comes and says, "Manu is not for you to go into Brenda's room, let's go." Mariana hears the screams and goes over there and says, "What's going on here?" Brenda says, "This girl came into my room and was going through my things." Bruno says, "I'm sorry about that Brenda, it won't happen again, Manu won't go into your room anymore." Mariana says, "Stop doing that Brenda, this is very ugly, because all drying up, just because she came here in your room, let her play with you, she just wants to play, stop being spoiled like that." Brenda says, "My father is in charge here." Mariana says, "That's enough Brenda, I can't stand this selfish behavior of yours anymore, and I'm also in charge here, your father works, pays the bills, but I'm in charge too, because this house is mine too, and I'm going to call him now." Brenda says, "I already called my dad and told him everything, you don't need to call him, he's on his way." At that moment Marcio, Brenda's father, arrives and says, "What's going on here?" Mariana says, "It's Brenda, my love, she's mistreating Manu all the time and doing bad things to her and Bruno." "In which city are you watching this story right now?" Mariana says, "And all this, because Manu came into her room with her doll, and not to mention that at lunchtime Bruno was already acting naughty simply because Manu was sitting at the table with us having lunch. I don't know what the revolt is of Brenda with that." Marcio says, "But Brenda told me another story, that's not exactly what she said to me." He looks and says, "What's going on Brenda?" Brenda says, "I want you to fire this employee. I want him to leave our house." Marcio says, "Do you want me to fire Bruno?" He looks at Bruno and says, "Well, my daughter wants me to fire you Bruno, so please get your things and leave." Mariana, without understanding anything, asks Marcio, "Why are you doing this, love?" "It's not their fault, our daughter who is acting strangely." Marcio approaches Mariana and says, "Don't worry Mariana, just trusts me." Mariana says, "It's good love." Brenda is happy to see that her father did what she wanted him to do. When Bruno was about to leave, Marcio says to him, "Bruno, I apologize for the way I spoke to you, I'm not firing you, I just want to teach my daughter a lesson. In fact, I want to ask you a favor, I want to see if it's possible for Brenda to stay at your house for a week. But I want her to learn what life is like, that not everything is about money. You can rest assured that I'll cover the expenses she's going to have at your house. This week, count your salary normally as if you were working. Don't worry, and everything you need let me know, and I'll help you." Bruno says, "But why all this, sir?" Marcio says, "I want Brenda to learn to respect people regardless of social class, and that she learns that money is not everything." Bruno says, "Okay sir, I agree to help you." Bruno, so it goes. Marcio calls Brenda to talk and says, "Daughter, I know you like to get your toys, your expensive things, right? Brenda says, yes, Daddy, of course I like it. Marcio says, so daughter, I want you to learn something. Everything that is mine will one day be yours. All my companies, all my legacy will be yours. But you will only learn to value all of this and to multiply all of this, a good investor and a good person. But for all this I need you to have responsibility and humility. You have to learn to treat people equally, regardless of social class or money. Because we have several employees and we have to know how to treat them with humility, honesty, and dignity, because everyone deserves respect. If you don't learn this, you will never grow in life. So for you to learn all this, I'm going to leave you for a week at the home of the humblest people, because that's the only way you'll learn. While you have everything you ever want will learn. And so Marcio continues their talking to his daughter Brenda. Brenda, without understanding anything her father is trying to say, says, Dad, but I don't understand why you want to do this. I'm your daughter, you have to give me things. Marcio says, daughter, I need to do this so that you learn to value things, everything you have. This was the only way I found to make you understand things and learn. Is it like this, or I'm going to have to stop by things for you? I won't give you an allowance anymore. And when you grow up, I can't leave my company to someone like that. You understand, daughter, who is not humble, who doesn't know how to treat people well. But I hope you understand, daughter, that all this is for your good. Brenda says, okay, Daddy, I understand. It's time for Brenda to go to Bruno's house. Marcio and Mariana are there waiting for Brenda. Mariana says, honey, are you sure about this? Marcio says, there's nothing better than her feeling firsthand what it means to be more humble. Mariana says, well, I hope it works out, love. Brenda comes and says, where are my bags, Daddy? Marcio says, you won't need bags, daughter, you'll use Manu's clothes. Mariana says goodbye to Brenda. Marcio then take Brenda and take her to Bruno's house. Upon arriving there, Marcio talks to Bruno. So Bruno is what we agreed on. She will stay here for a week. I hope she learns something. Anything you need you can call me and I will be helping you. I thank you very much, Bruno, for doing this for me, and I hope my daughter learns something from you. Brenda says, Daddy, I don't want to stay here. Marcio says, it's going to be good, daughter, trust Dad, it's going to be better for you. Bruno says, don't worry, Mr. Marcio, I'll take very good care of your daughter. So he gets up and you go, he says goodbye to Brenda and goes. Bruno looks at Brenda and says, my house is humble. Brenda is not like yours, but you will be well received and you will have a lot of fun here, don't worry. Brenda says, where will my room be? Bruno says, so Brenda, the house is very small and it only has the kitchen and the living room. You and Manu will have to sleep here on the couch. This is how the days went by. A week later. They are there waiting for Marcio to come get Brenda. You wait for one. Brenda plays with Manu with her little toy. It takes a long time. Marcio soon arrives. Brenda runs to hug him because she misses him so much. Marcio goes to Bruno and thanks him for everything and says, I'll see you tomorrow at Bruno's house. Marcia then take Brenda and you go home. Mariana is there talking to her husband and says, wow, your plan worked, our daughter is someone else. Marcio says, yes, love, many times we only learn when we feel it on our skin. Brenda learned in that 1 week that not everything is about money. She learned to share her toys and value people regardless of their social class. What do you think?